The line at Meridian National Bank was moving slower than a glacier, and Olivia's feet acted like she had been walking on broken glass. Her scrubs, still damp from a rushed shift at the hospital, clung to her skin uncomfortably. She barely had time to sip the lukewarm coffee she carried in her hand before a small voice near the front made her pause. "Mommy, Mommy." A tiny pair of hands reached out from the stroller, and a frazzled young woman was frantically digging in her purse. Just a second," she said, looking around helplessly. Olivia didn't even think. The exhaustion, the routine of saving lives in ER chaos, made her heart twitch at the sight of the baby. "I've got him," she said, lifting the infant carefully into her arms. The baby cooed softly against her chest, his tiny fingers curling around hers. For a brief moment, the world outside the bank line disappeared. And then, the world outside the bank line exploded. Shouts, glass shattering, the metallic click of guns. "Everyone on the ground! Now!" Olivia froze for a heartbeat, the baby trembling in her arms. Armed men were storming the lobby, and panic erupted like wildfire. Screams collided with orders, chairs toppled, and for the first time in her life, Olivia felt pure, bone-deep terror, not for herself, but for the fragile life in her arms. Instinct took over. She pressed herself against the marble counter, holding the baby close, whispering nonsense syllables to soothe him, praying that the warmth of her voice would be enough to keep him calm. Hours passed. Or maybe it was minutes, she couldn't tell. Time had lost its meaning. The robbers were methodical, almost coldly precise. But something about their movements, the way one of them kept glancing toward her and the infant, unsettled her. Olivia realized she was not just a bystander, she was part of a plan she couldn't yet comprehend. The baby's mother never came back. Fear twisted into determination. Olivia's nurse instincts flared. She scanned the room, noticing the subtle weaknesses. The way the leader's attention wavered when the baby cried, the guard by the doors shifting nervously. She whispered quietly to the baby, as if sharing a secret. "We'll get through this. You and me. We're stronger than this." As hours dragged on, Olivia faced challenge after challenge. People around her panicked, fainted, or froze, unable to act. The baby cried at moments of loud commotion, and Olivia's heart threatened to break with each squeal. Yet, every time she soothed him, she felt a strange surge of calm wash over herself, a reminder that courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes, it is a whisper in the chaos. Then came the turning point. One of the robbers slipped near the back door, checking something outside. Olivia noticed a fire extinguisher mounted to the wall behind the counter. Using a combination of calm words to the baby and a moment of daring, she nudged it off its bracket with her foot. It clanged loudly. The men's attention snapped toward the sound. "Now!" she mouthed to a shaken older man nearby, who caught on immediately. Together they created a brief distraction. Olivia bolted toward the exit with the baby cradled against her chest, dodging a panicked gun barrel and shouting at people to stay down. Every step was a prayer. Outside, sirens screamed as police converged. The baby's mother appeared moments later, tears streaming down her face, collapsing onto her knees as Olivia placed the infant into her arms. The mother whispered frantic, choked gratitude, but Olivia didn't hear it fully. Her focus was on the little life she had protected. In the aftermath, as she gave statements to the police and recounted every detail, Olivia felt a strange emptiness, the kind that follows surviving a storm. Yet, intertwined with it was something new, a profound sense of purpose, a reminder of why she became a nurse in the first place. Her small act of kindness, just holding a stranger's baby, had cascaded into courage, hope, and survival. Weeks later, Olivia returned to her shifts, but something had changed. She carried herself with a quiet confidence, and patients noticed her warmth more than ever. Sometimes, she would catch herself smiling at a baby in the waiting room, remembering the little hand that had clutched hers in that impossible hour. It was a simple truth she now lived by sometimes, the smallest gestures, holding a hand, a baby, or even a moment of attention, can ignite courage, change lives, and remind us that even in the darkest hours, hope is alive. And Olivia knew, deep down, that day at the bank wasn't just about surviving. It was about discovering the hero she never knew she could be.